I am sure that during the course of your travels, your curiosity has stopped you at a building site to watch in amazement at the hectic activity that's taking place. Giant machines, men with tools of all shapes and sizes, all working to a master plan to prepare a foundation for a massive structure consisting of bricks, concrete, stone slabs, and held together with enough reinforcing steel to reach across Australia twice. Just think of the thousands of man-hours necessary to assemble the material to build one of these huge dwellings, or the army of people it takes just to erect a temporary construction such as a tent. To gather the material and build a home would be an almost impossible task for one man alone. Yet during the spring of each year, a vast amount of the bird population commence what appears to us the simple job of building a nest. During the short time it takes to view this film, I'm certain you'll agree that Mother Nature has provided the birds with much greater skills than we could ever hope to possess. And all they have to work with is a beak and a strong pair of claws. These beaks come in an infinite variety of shapes and sizes. However, when it comes to building a home, it is their only tool of trade. There are blunt ones and sharp ones. There are krill ones, and they are used for dredging. Grotesque ones, spoon-shaped ones, destructive ones. Tenderizing ones, and the ones that can hold more than his belly can. It can also be used in self-defense. Powerful claws play a big part, whether it be for clowning around or nest building. Similar to the human house, birds build their nests ranging from huge incubators to delicate cup-shaped ones, which seem to be the most common. These are usually constructed of woven grass and strips of fine bark, mainly bound with spider web, and some even have a side entrance. Others have optional extras, such as a tail or a decoration of lichens. The swallows build a home made from mud, but just to be different, the fairy martin attaches a funnel. Ground nesting birds make little more than a shallow scrape in the soil, just enough to prevent the eggs from rolling away. Sometimes you may think that people build their homes in the strangest of places, and you wonder why. No doubt they have their reasons. Our feathered friends also select some rather odd spots to build, and the reason is obvious. Firstly, to isolate themselves from predators. But it seems this crow had plenty of nesting material and a shortage of trees. In the case of the peewee, it would seem they prefer the company of humans. The fairy martins prefer the peaceful outlook from a cliff face, while other birds, such as the kookaburra, as well as most of the parrot family and the wood swallow, choose a ready-made apartment. If you thought we were the first creatures to use a needle and thread, you would be wrong. The tiny golden-headed cisticola adapted his sharp beak and some spider web to sew his nest in place. The two-storey house was certainly not invented by the human being. The pretty little yellow-rumped thornbill has been doing it for thousands of years. While one bird is busy putting the finishing touches to the side entrance of the lower story, the other's building upstairs. In the Orient, floating houses are a common sight on the rivers and harbours. However, nature has taught certain water birds, such as the dusky moorhen, to build on the water, mainly for their protection. The little grebe and the graceful black swan have also found that a floating apartment can be quite an advantage to the whole family. There is always an abundance of nesting material, and it's there for the taking: thistledown, lichens, and a variety of mosses. Mud for those who need it, twigs and feathers, and spiderweb by the metre. In the tropical islands of the South Pacific, houses built of timber and grass are still used by the natives. This dry grass is a very useful building material. Possibly the most commonly used building material chosen by the birds is dry grass, mainly because of its plentiful supply. The female blue wren has found plenty to construct her home, while father flits around in his beautiful spring plumage and lends some moral support. In some cases, if you just happen to be running short of material and there is an unattended nest in the next tree, you just borrow a few straws. In the case of the little turtle dove, very few straws are needed for their home. If you have never had the opportunity of observing a bird building a nest, and at some time you do, just take a few minutes to witness the amazing skills they possess. Simply remember, they have had no formal training, such as we need to build a home, yet with only a beak as their tools of trade, they're able to construct some of the most intricate designs we have ever seen. Using specially selected material to suit their particular nest, they have to be the designer and the architect, as well as having to search for the building material and just think of the number of trips to and from the nest before it's completed.